Hello again. You're still there, we're still here. And thanks again for coming to the launch night tonight. You'll notice that Alan, our cameraman, is here again. We're filming for YouTube. The crowds are still arriving. There's a lot of Roscommon jerseys stuffed in pockets. We'd like to bring up to have a chat here, if you'd like to give them your attention, Shane Curran and John Newton, none other than Chris O'Dowd's two favourite people in the world. How are you? It's lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you. Very good, thanks. Now, let's start with the fact that Beyonce is in town. She now seems to be best friends with Chris O'Dowd, and Chris O'Dowd loves ye. So therefore, you're going to meet Beyonce this weekend. Is that right?
Didn't hear about that, Ruth. I was delighted to meet you, though, to be fair. So. Chris is playing a few games there, I think, on Twitter and all that sort of stuff, but not been used to that social media outlet. You just go along with the flow, and in fairness to him, he's doing a great job for Roscommon, more than yourself, and giving us all plenty of airplay nationally and internationally, and hopefully it'll help Roscommon GAA bring in a few dollars, more importantly.
How do you feel then when you hear the likes of Chris O'Dowd sort of talking about the two of you guys when he's over in Hollywood making movies, hanging out with Beyonce and the like?
Well, it was just funny on the day now, because I was actually working on the day of the match, and I hadn't a drink or nothing all day, and I was actually walking at the time, and the phone started beeping, and didn't know what all these texts were all about.
We'll have to get on to him tonight on Twitter and tell him we have his two idols here and that he should be coming here. Shane, there's a selection of nicknames, I'm told. I know Cake, but I'm not aware of any others. Will you spill the beans to us here?
It's probably the most printable one, I'd say, Ruth, you know. So, no, that one has stuck with me over the years. An old friend of mine in Castlereagh put it on me, but sure.
Where did it come from, Cake? Because you're a healthy looking man. You don't look like you stuff yourself with the stuff.
I don't actually, no. I'd leave that to the younger lads on the Bridges team and when I was playing for Roscommon, but I don't know, I suppose Curran and raisin, I suppose, and there was no reason why there shouldn't be any cakes, you know.
Oh God, that's terrible. But it's on camera now, he said it once and for all, it's official. John, how do you feel looking ahead at the year that's sort of laying out in front of us?
It's very hard to know now. There's new management there in Roscommon now, and you know they finished the league very well. They won the last 3 games of the league, so I suppose they have the hard side of the draw now, playing the winners of Roscommon and Galway, and that's an away game as well now. So it's looking very difficult, but I think Roscommon always thrive in adversity anyway. So hopefully they'll come up trumps.
And do you think things like this, like events like this, where you gather people and you start fundraising and you raise awareness, does that sort of gather a bit more of a Rossie spirit in people?
It does, and you know, it gathers momentum as well behind the team. And I think, you know, as John alluded to there, you know, when Roscommon are down, we're generally at our best, you know. But it's nice, like tonight, that you know, help to foster a bit of spirit and that sort of stuff. And for supporters, it's very important, and for the players, you know, when you see supporters coming to the games in good spirit and in good form, it gives them a big lift, you know. And we'll either have to go to Pure Stadium or to Castlebar, and we'll be underdogs. But who knows? When you're the underdog, we'll definitely fight better.
What would you like to see happen in the next 12 months for Roscommon? Other than win. Anything specific? Crystal ball time, let's say.
I think, you know, I was talking to Paul there and John earlier on. I think the platform is there, and the fulcrum. There's a lot of the cohort of good young players there that need to be developed continually. But over the next 12 months, I think if we're to be realistic, a good run in the qualifiers would be nice, and then to get out of Division 3 next year and go to Division 2 and compete at that level. I think if you look at the likes of Westmeath and even Longford to a lesser extent, they're up on Division 1, Division 2 for the last 3 or 4 years. That's where we need to be going forward.
Okay, John, I believe you spent a lot of time, I don't think this is under the Secrets Act, but I believe you used to be a bodyguard for, which of the presidents was it?
Mary McAleese.
And how long were you doing that?
I was doing it about 8.5 years.
Okay, and was she nice lady? Were you sort of in close around her? Were you in the distance? Did she give you sandwiches if you were hanging around for a long time?
Just one step behind her all the time.
Really? Was it a good experience for you?
It's a great experience. We travelled the world with her now. It's probably in every continent now: China, Australia, New Zealand, everywhere. And you know, you get a trip probably every 4 to 6 weeks, so you'd be away probably for a week in that time. So that was very enjoyable now.
So you're a well-travelled Rossie, and do you spread the Rossie word wherever you go? Like, let's say when you were doing that, were you spreading the Rossie word? Would you have a little blue and yellow hanky in your pocket all the time?
Well, we actually ended up at the Asian Games one time in Thailand. and it's surprising all the people you'd meet now. I met probably 20 people from Roscommon that day at the finals. So no matter where you go in the world, you have your Rossies.
We're everywhere. We're spreading. Shane, I believe you do a lot of air miles. I've no idea what your line of work is. What has you travelling so much?
Well, what we do is we provide military security and safety to international military organisations. Travel to Mogadishu at the end of the month there to protect UNIFIL troops in Somalia. So it's a diverse kind of a business that we're in. But hopefully, if we can have nights like this, we'll be protecting Roscommon football. I think John's experience as a bodyguard might come in handy in the years going forward with Chris O'Dowd. He may need him, So and yourself, Ruth. So it's a business that's very enjoyable, and you get to meet a lot of people around the world. And as John said, you bump into a lot of Roscommon people who have a lot of goodwill, and we've a lot of Roscommon people in very, very senior positions around the world in big companies. That I'm sure we can tap into over time, and as I said, look into their experience but also get some money out of them.
Would you meet many Roscommoners when you're in Mogadishu and places like that? Genuinely, like?
Well, not maybe in Mogadishu, but if you take the UN, for instance, it's infiltrated with very high-ranking people, and a lot of international organisations are. You have Roscommon people like Sean Purcell, who's the chief procurement officer in the UN. You have his brother Tom, who's over in Al Moran in Saudi Arabia. So these are all guys that are, there's a Stenson man who's over Coca-Cola, so, and he's from Castlereagh. So, you have all these sort of people that we need to tap into their experiences and their business knowledge and levels, and hopefully, as I said, get some money and get, football success can't be built on unless you've got the finances behind you, and finance is usually important, and we've got to look outside of the traditional methods of funding and look at the diaspora internationally. And I think we in Roscommon have a great cohort of supporters who are very traditional and want us to do very well,
Great. So on a final note then, John, on a night like this, Roscommoners gathered from, far and wide, but mainly from the Dublin region. How do you think this is so important for Roscommon as a county and as a team?
Well, I think people away from home probably have more affiliation with their home county than if you're living in the county. I was involved with the Roscommon Association for a couple of years in Dublin, and there's a hardcore of people here that would travel anywhere to see Roscommon playing. And a lot of young people are getting involved now in it as well. So it's great to see that now, and especially on a night like tonight.
And Shane, what does it make you feel on a night like this when you see people gather that maybe live that little bit farther from the home county?
Yeah, look, it's a great opportunity to mix with people, but it just shows you as well the actual interest and the energy and the electricity that is there, and the goodwill that's there to follow Roscommon football, and Roscommon in general. We need that, you need all the help, and particularly now it's challenging times with the domestic economy the way it is. You need to be looking at further reaches to get funding, but even from a night out point of view, you're mingling with people that we've all got a common goal and a common energy to make Roscommon better, and hopefully in our lifetimes bring Sam Maguire back across the Shannon in Roscommon, and that will be done.